Hello everybody, thank you for joining us. Today we'll be drawing floating objects and what kind of shadows they cast. So we can do two different objects. We will do a box. So I would actually go and put the box down somewhat like that, just for this exercise. Our surface is right here. It could be going backward like that, and what we'll just make the surface here, just that far from the box, and we will do a ground object. So most of you, I think, that could probably see where this is going. And what we have is we have a source of light. So the light source, in this case, we will just base it coming from the top but hitting a little bit from this angle. So not exactly from the top, so from this angle, just to make this a little more let's say dynamic. So in that case, this side of course will be darkest, being completely away from the light source. Now of course the idea is of the floating object, and we could leave the tones in the box alone and just work on the shadows that it throws down. But that would not be a lot of fun, so we will I used a shortcut there. I mean, usually when we cross hatch we go along the shape, but it's okay because we are just doing a quick exercise, and the focus is not really the box itself, it is the shadow that is being cast by the box. But let's get this going as well. So we have some cross hatch there, so minimal tones there because that area is a little more into that source of light. If I just make it a little smooth, I think it'll appear more pleasant to everyone here who's watching. So we got some tones out of the way when it comes to the box, and right below it we can put a little more tone here, and right below it, so now it's this direction, so I would actually go pull it a little bit like that. Pull means that I could go straight down and just put a shadow here, right under here. But let's do this, so we'll go stretch it a little more, and put something right down along those lines. Now one thing is for sure, that as the box moves away from the surface, the shadow will change accordingly. Like if it goes higher, let's say the box was further away, the light gets minimal and gets filtered down to somewhere around there, and we would have a slightly lesser shadow going somewhere along those lines, again depending on what other light source we have. So somewhere along those lines, another like shadow going as if the box is like farther away from the surface. Let me make that a little more dark. It looks funny. So then we come back, then we come around to the round, or fairly round circle in this case. So the light itself will first, of course, throw a tone right across the curvature of the ball, where it will be darkest, because it's a round shape and it's catching light from the other angle. So we will have darkest tones, which is customary for a round shape to have darker tones there, and we will have lighter tones here. So just to illustrate, if we just make that a little smooth, usually I would just go with the cross hatch, take more time. So that is out of the way, but then the light source casts a shadow, and it will really be an oval. So we go and just fill out an oval right there. Now it could be flatter, possibly flatter, but you could, of course, source images on Google as well. Depends on the surface, depends on the perspective. Again, if you're looking at it from an angle and you're standing higher and this plane is like going like that, this will immediately become more flat. So it could be somewhere along those lines. But if you're looking at it from that certain angle, it'll be like that. And if the ball is moved higher up, light source, although going all the way down, gets filtered down a little bit, and you end up with a slightly lesser or a smaller shadow. So again, different things. Now if you keep changing the light source, let's say that you shift the light source here, the shadow of course moves over here. So again, the closer it is, the darker the shadow will be. The farther it is, the shadow also becomes faint, and it also becomes less in size. So same exercise for the box. If the shadow was falling like that, and you would have the, again, depending on the placement of the box, the shadow would hit somewhere around here, and of course it would be smaller if you go and take the box further away from the surface. So thank you for watching. Those are some of the basics that we went through. Please let us have your comments and ideas. We would love to hear from you. Please subscribe and keep in touch. Have yourself a wonderful day.